What is the nature of God? Well, that's another pretty big question. If God is the master plan, if God is the creator of everything we see, including human beings, then what is he like? The very fact that we are curious to ask this question is what distinguishes us from the rest of creation. It is a question that God wants us to ask. Indeed, learning to know God is at the very center of the gospel. As Jesus said in John 17, "Now this is life eternal, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent." In this short section, we will touch on a number of key aspects concerning God's nature. There's, of course, so much more that we could explore on this topic. So first of all, God is one. One of the key distinguishing claims made by the God of the Bible, the master planner, is that he is a singular God. He is one and not many. This claim is clearly made in Deuteronomy 6 and verse 4 in what is known today as the Jewish Shema. The Shema, which in English means to listen, forms the foundation of Jewish prayers every morning and evening. And it says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." It is a claim to the monotheistic nature of the God of Israel, set against the many other religions who worship multiple gods. The idea is that the Lord, Yahweh, is one God, and he is the only God. There are no other gods to worship, no God of the sun or moon or stars or nature, and the word God literally means power. In other words, no other supernatural power, not even an evil power. The idea of the oneness and unity of the master planner is central to the plan. The master plan is all about bringing many into one, about uniting that which was once divided. This brings us really to the next key aspect of God's nature. God is all-powerful, omnipotent. He claims to be the only true power. Yes, he's allowed man to have some power through his free will. He's given man a measure of power. But finally, everything is under God's control. In Daniel 4:17 we read, "The decision is announced by the messengers. The holy ones declare the verdict, so that the living may know that the Most High is sovereign over all the kingdoms on earth, and gives them to anyone he wishes, and sets over them the lowliest of people." It's a great comfort to ultimately know that God is in control. To allow his plan to proceed, he has allowed kingdoms of men to rule, but he is the final power who will ultimately demonstrate power. "I am the Lord, and there is no other. Apart from me, there is no God. I will strengthen you, though you have not acknowledged me. I form the light and create darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, do all these things." Next, God is eternal. God's life has neither beginning nor end. He is eternal. Paul says to Timothy, "He alone is immortal and lives in inapproachable light, whom no one has seen or can see." He says of himself, "It is I who made the earth and created mankind upon it. My own hand stretched out the heavens. I marshaled their starry hosts." In other words, God was there before a beginning existed. You might say he was there before time itself. God is spirit. God is described as being a spirit or power. God is spirit, and his worshippers must worship him in spirit and in truth, we read in John 4. God is revealed to us as having hands and even eyes, but ultimately he is a different being to us. He is a spirit, a form of power and energy which is beyond the full comprehension of our natural and physical minds. God is everywhere. Because God is spirit, he's not limited by physical constraints. He can be everywhere at the same time. This means there is nowhere we can go where he is not. The psalmist says in Psalm 139, "Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I go and make my bed in the depths, you are there." God is all-knowing. This simply means there is no thought, no desire, nothing that is hidden from God. He knows everything, from the big stuff like what is going to happen in the future to the earth, which is why we can be sure that his master plan will be fulfilled as he promised. Listen to these words in Isaiah 46 and at verse 9. Remember the things I have done in the past. For I alone am God. I am God, there is no one like me. Only I can tell you the future before it even happens. Everything I plan will come to pass, for I do whatever I wish. And what is so comforting, he also knows every small detail. Listen to the words of Jesus. What is the price of 2 sparrows? 1 copper coin. But not a single sparrow can fall to the ground without your Father knowing it. And the very hairs on your head are all numbered. And yet in all of this, the most important part about what God is like is found in his character, which is summarized for us in that one most powerful word, love. God is love. All of the aspects of God come down to one prevailing characteristic, and that is that God is love. This encompasses his character and everything he is, and is central to his relationship with us. Quite simply, the sum of all the aspects of God, his mercy, his grace, long-suffering, loving kindness, and truth, is all summarized in love. And so John says in 1 John 4, God is love, and all who live in love live